This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
We've got a dead set beauty for you here. Adelaide hosting Melbourne United. Adelaide, they need to get things rolling. What is going on? Pre-season champions, they've done not much in the regular season. And Melbourne United, no one wants to see them. They are rolling at the moment. This is going to be a great game over there in the city of churches. You can see the line, 2.5 points in favour of United. So Melbourne expected to go on the road and get it done. Let's look at a same-game multi for this bad boy. I think Melbourne can go to Adelaide and get it done. Marcus Lee's been a revelation for United and a high-scoring game over 177.5. Enjoy the game and gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Drimmick fires. Oh, that's a big hit from Drimmick. Franks got it.
There's your man, Gibbo.
There he is, right on cue. Like a cork in the ocean for Chris Goldie. Went up and Marcus Lee said, no, sir.
Lee swinging off the rim on showtime.
Lever the Franks.
Dean Vickerman and Melbourne United on an absolute tear at the moment.
Close to the lid.
Oh my goodness.
Live from the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, round 16 of the Hungry Jacks NBL continues with a crucial clash between the 36ers and Melbourne United. Just 19 games remain in the regular season, and both Adelaide and Melbourne are harbouring playoff aspirations, which makes the result tonight vitally important. Along with 2010 NBL MVP Corey Williams and championship winner Pete Hawley, I'm John Casey. Great to have your company for Saturday night hoops. Adelaide on a 4-game losing streak. Melbourne with 4 straight wins under their belt. This is looming as a very important clash, and the latter will underscore exactly how important it is, because you need to be in the top 6. Neither of these teams are, and if Adelaide can't win tonight, well, maybe it's season over.
Yeah, Case, this is massive. The Adelaide 36ers, if they're not already out, you look at their percentage, which is going to make it tough. But if they lose this, they're officially out. And if Melbourne United, they get a chance to try and leapfrog. And the results are going everywhere. So right now, I think we have the hottest team in the competition versus the coldest team in the competition. Anything could happen.
Yeah, exactly right. And for the Adelaide 36ers, well, they've lost their last 4. And as you can see, their last win, Jan 6, since Christmas, they've won 2 games. They've beaten Illawarra and Brisbane. And we know how they've been travelling this season, Corey. But their average losing margin is 10, and they're giving up 100 in those 4 games. They're not going to win too many giving up 100.
Not at all. Their inability to play defense is not giving them a chance to win games. Look, we can see what's going on right here in this one. Brisbane got over the hump at home, and it was a very disappointing loss for Adelaide. But to be honest with you, things got really bad when they lost to Cairns. They were up 18. We call this game, and since then, it's been struggle street.
Yeah, it's hard to not go past that game, isn't it? Because it seemed like that was the ultimate deflating point of the season, the unlosable game. And here is their run home. So the hottest team in the competition, with the fact that Cairns and Sydney are both coming off losses. Melbourne United twice, and then Cairns and Sydney, who no doubt want to finish the season strong going into finals. So hardest run home possible for the Adelaide 36ers.
Great to see the fans turning up in numbers still though as well. Another sellout crowd in Adelaide, and Melbourne United will have no fear being here either. They've won 10 of their last 13 games against Adelaide, and Dean Vickerman, well, hard to remember, but they were 5-10, 9th on the ladder at the end of round 9.
I cannot believe the turnaround. Trust me, I was off this wagon from preseason. They have made me a believer, and that man right there, hitting the 3-ball as consecutive as he is. Shea Illy, healthy, steadied the ship, and now the ship's ascending. They're playing great basketball. That is a team I would not want to face.
Well, this was actually a really impressive win for me, because they'd been going along pretty easily with the way they've been playing. They'd got some big wins, but they come into one of those track game environments, and Brisbane have definitely turned things around to finish the season. And for them to scrape through the win the way they did just showed a lot of character. So right now, you're right, Corey, they get the job done. As we look at the first 15 games, 5-10. They've gone 8-2 in their last 10. They play New Zealand away, which will be tough, and Adelaide again at home. If they get into that top 6, which we expect them to do now, I'm not sure you want to be playing them.
Without a doubt, you want to be not playing them. They scored 100 in their last game, and they restricted the breakers to just 65 in the previous game to that. And congratulations to Mitch McCarron and his wife, Abby, with the arrival of Cora Hope McCarron. And as you can see there, everyone's pretty excited about the equations as well. A lovely sister for little Oslo.
I spoke to him before the birth, and he was really hoping that he could get a little girl to add to Oslo, and they got their little girl, so big congrats. He's going to be playing. We'll see how much sleep he got, because anything could happen when it comes to a little baby.
Adelaide 36ers starting 5 with thanks to champion. They are going to make a change because Ian Clark is out of the equation tonight with a leg injury, and Mitch McCarron, who missed Thursday night's loss in Brisbane because of the arrival of his beautiful daughter, steps straight back into the starting lineup. And thanks to champion, the Melbourne United starting 5 is the same 5 that they rolled out in that 10-point win over Brisbane a week ago. Well, it has changed from when these teams met in round 7 in Melbourne, when Adelaide won by 5 points. On that occasion, David Okwera was starting, along with Humphries and Rattan May. So things have changed dramatically since then, for the better for Melbourne United. For Adelaide, in front of another sellout crowd, the 36ers, well, they need to show some character. And the opening tip controlled by Melbourne. And the Heritage Round jerseys. Adelaide to throw back to the 98 championship winning strip. Here's Golding, who's been good against Adelaide. In fact, he's been good all season.
I tell you what a beautiful opening set from Melbourne United. The misdirection, they had Chris Golding setting an away screen for Rajon Tuckler to curl, which meant Drimmick have to help out, and you let the sharpshooter get a good look to get his eye in. That was really pretty basketball.
Golding has now hit a 3 in his last 27 games, at least one. And in 50 of his last 51 games against Adelaide, he's come up with a 3-ball. He rarely misses.
Well, you say that, but he did have his worst ever shooting performance on this floor. 0 of 16, I think it was.
0 of 9 from deep from memory as well. It's the only time he hasn't produced against Adelaide. But his lead, off the ball, and Cleveland crashing into Golding.
Went straight back to the exact same set. It worked the first time. Why wouldn't you? Because it has multiple looks. You see Chris Golding getting bowled over with Antonius Cleveland. That curl cut there from Rajon Tucker, that's a live cut. So if you get caught on that screen like Cleveland did, Tucker can get on the rim. So you have to get the help, and then it allowed Chris Golding to get wide open.
How about that from Chris Golding? A great start for Melbourne.
I mean, that's all class. Tough mate.
Adelaide shell-shocked fans quietened in the first minute here, thanks to Golding's quick-fire 5 points. Adelaide with 2 turnovers to start. So McCarron guards Shea Illy. Peatling. Started the season slowly with that, coming back from injury, but he's got better the longer it's gone. Here's Tucker, got past Cleveland, who reaches in, slaps it down out of his hands onto his foot and out of court. He needed to do that because he'd beaten him on the drive.
That would have been an easy 2 points. Good hands by Cleveland.
Here he's doing the ball carrying. Oh, he launched upstairs to throw it down.
And that's how you go upstairs with a shot blocker like Marcus Lee protecting the paint. Man.
Oh, look at the Amy replay. He just detonates. Elevation, and then just throws it down. He's got some springs, Antonius Cleveland.
Taking out some anger on the rim there. As Cleveland open scoring for Adelaide. It took 90 seconds, but it was worth waiting for. Here's Golding. Got away from Drimmick. Couldn't make it fit, though. Well done, Illy. Just read the mind there of Mitch McCarron. Got it back for another look, and Golding peels off another 3. He scored the first 8 of the game for Melbourne.
All business. I'm not coming here to mess around, and I'm going to set the tone. 3 or 4.
Here's Drimmick going on with the dribble and coming up with his first score in the game.
Interestingly, they've gone with Antonius Cleveland's guarding Rajon Tucker now. He was the one to pick up Shea Illy off the opening jump, and Anthony Drimmick's gone to Chris Golding. Now he's going to get open for the back door. He's got 10 points in the first 2.5 minutes. Timeout, Adelaide.
4 of 5 from the field. All business.
What a start to the game from Chris Golding. Just when the Adelaide 36ers were hoping to get off to a bright start themselves, and Melbourne have dominated here. And Chris Goulding.
Well, Goulding has dominated. He got all 10.
That has been outstanding work. As you can see.
Well, it all started with that opening play of the game. It was a beautiful set, the perfect set for them to run, to get Chris Goulding a wide open look, really, to just get him feeling really comfortable. If it's not from the free throw line to get your eye in, if you're a shooter, what better way to start? And then this is danger time, because now he's going to hit tough ones. You've got him feeling good about himself. He's just a tough shot maker after this.
I mean, to be honest with you, they're pretty much, it was just only one shot that was a contest. The rest of them have been open looks. They got to tighten up on defense, and that ain't their strong suit.
No, it's not.
So they're in trouble right now.
Well, their best defender, Antonius Cleveland's got 2 fouls already in this game, and he hasn't seen a half-court set guarding Chris Goulding, so someone else is going to have to step up and take that assignment and slow this man down.
Well, they did a good job of that when these teams played back in round 7. He had just 10 points on 2 of 7 from long range in the 29 minutes that he played. He's got 10 here. Very quick fashion. And Adelaide, not the start they were hoping to get for a team that's lost its last 4 and 5 of its last 6. It's Cleveland holding off Tucker. Gets close to the rim but can't convert.
Love to have that one back. He did everything but finish.
Tucker looks to answer at the other end. They're 5 of 6 from the field, and they lead by 8.
Yeah, 12 points already, and this is the issue. Antonius Cleveland having 2 fouls. He ended up playing that possession like a matador. He was in front of Rajon Tucker and then stepped out of the way because he doesn't want to pick up his 3rd foul.
And Melbourne United just going to do everything.
Soto steps in, cleans up his own missed away, but he's scoring.
Melbourne United is smart right now. He just run all the offense through whoever's Cleveland's guarding. He cannot do anything.
Shaley fires short with it. Sunday Detch onto the floor, replacing Anthony Drimmy.
Hooley with 2 fouls.
You're right.
I'm running everything through Cleveland.
Well, especially when you've got a guy like Rajon Tucker, his physicality, the way he turns the corner and draws that contact, I'd be trying to put him in that action. He had a little look at the 3-ball possession before, didn't want it. Takes it there, and that comes up short. Here goes Rajon Tucker. Straight out of Cleveland.
Couldn't finish it. Tipping from Lee wouldn't work either. Adelaide catch a break. Robert Franks leads the charge back the other way. Hands over. Cleveland works inside Lee. Confronted there by Peatling. He took one to the midsection. Whistle on the play as well.
Nice crossover. Good take.
I got the same.
Peatling goes up and defends well. He gets a knee to the gut.
Yeah, right.
If they're vertical, we're good. Yep. Ball's coming. No worries. Hang on.
Soto doing a good job with those second chance opportunities. Got 4 points on 2 offensive rebounds.
Just adjust the clock here. Wind it back. Mason Peatling.
You see the black armband on the jersey there from Melbourne United. In respect to Mark Leader. Nice little touch.
He's a 2-time championship winner with North Melbourne. And captain their 94 championship winner as well. That's Peatling. Hands over Lee. Shot clock rolls to single digits. Sunday Detch with a job on Goulding for the moment. Peatling looked off the D, went hard at it, couldn't finish, and Soto the rebound.
That's better help defense from the 36ers. Just contesting without fouling, trusting your position and getting it done. Speaking of doing that, that's exactly what Marcus Lee does exceptionally well. Just plays really physical through his chest and stays vertical.
Marcus Lee, how great has he been since joining Melbourne United? Every game, he's gotten better. And his role is simple. Just protect the rim. And with his penetrating guards that shooting the ball so well, the defense is going to shift. It's an easy alley-oop play we've seen time and time again.
Well, now Shea Illy is fouled, and that's Cleveland's 3rd personal foul. Shea Illy to the free throw line.
The last thing the Adelaide 36ers needed. You talk about their.
Why are you playing so aggressive when you got 2 fouls already?
Well, it's a great question.
What are you doing?
There's no need to do that. And look, Shea Illy has no doubt earned the right to respect and contest his 3, but not at that level of aggression, especially when you got 2 fouls. That one there was enough You do that.
Yo, he out there wilding out. He is wilding out. 5:30 to go in the first quarter, and you got 2 fouls, and that's how you playing?
Well, I don't think we'll be seeing Antonius Cleveland for a while now.
Well, maybe not until the second half. And that is not a good sign for Adelaide, who already have plenty of woes. No Ian Clark tonight because of a leg injury. And really is last roll of the dice for them if they can't win here. So much a promising season is going to come up with very little in return.
And with those fouls, it's something that you don't mind if you pick up the first one with really trying to set a tone defensively. So maybe that is after Chris Goulding hits his 3, you put your hand up as the best defender says, I'm not letting him touch the ball. And maybe you get a foul trying to hold off the ball or fight through a screen, but just set a tone. It's those other ones, those ones that lack the discipline, they're going to hurt your team.
Tucker with the rebound, off and running past McCarron. Franks in front of him. What doesn't bother? Gets him through there. Adds another 2.
Too tough in the open court.
8-point lead again for Melbourne. Soto picks up the dribble. Almost gave it up to Shaili there. McCarron, traffic. Sunday Ditch ready to go. And all the bottom of the net. Adelaide get their first 3.
That's a much-needed hit by Sunday Ditch.
Done well just to hang around in his first quarter with how hot Melbourne United started, in particular Chris Goulding.
It's Goulding now. Well, Sunday Ditch came up with the ball. Lee to beat. Going to take it hard to the rim. Well done, Marcus Lee. Clean up 2 provided by McCarron.
But that's the right thing to do, because if he does block your shot or you miss, you have 2 other offensive players coming in to get a tip in.
Adelaide on a 9-4 run here as United getting a long rebound. Goulding fires, can't connect. So after a blitzkrieg at the start here from Melbourne, Adelaide has steadied a little. McCarron back to Franks, kicks it back to McCarron. Inside the last 4 minutes of the opening quarter. They lob it down low. Soto, shovel pass back to McCarron. He fires up the front of the rim. Harris wrestling there with Goulding for the rebound, and Goulding takes him on, wants to go all the way and gets it done and draws a foul.
I mean, why not when you're starting off the game with the first 10 points? He's in that kind of mood.
Sure is. That's 12 points now for Chris Goulding, a chance to go to 13. Still plenty of time left in this first quarter, in case we saw a game earlier this season where Chris Goulding had the 13 first quarter points. I took 1 shot in the second quarter.
That won't happen today, that's for sure.
I don't think it will either.
Also joining us in commentary tonight, 2006 world champion, 2-time WNBA champion. She's also a reasonably good footballer as well. Erin Phillips, great to have you on board, Erin, and great atmosphere again in Adelaide.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, guys, and crowd very, very loud here, and it's getting very, very chippy amongst the players. A lot on the line, obviously, for both teams. So a little few spot fires, a few physical elbows being thrown. So be watching. It's going to get very heated very soon, I reckon.
Well, Adelaide need to find something to arc up as Detch rolls it down to Robert Franks. Their leading scorer hasn't taken a shot in the game yet. Detch works inside Xavier Rattan-Mays. Couldn't finish it, though.
Right now, Robert Franks needs to get busy on the offensive end. Robert Franks hasn't even taken an attempt. Almost 7 minutes have been played in this first quarter.
And it's interesting because...
Ain't no tomorrow, Pete.
Well, spot on. They have to win every single game, but the thing that's been key for me is the word desperation. Daniel Johnson, that's instant offense off the bench, we know that. But the contrasting styles of offense. There was about, in the first 8 possessions for Adelaide, they probably passed the ball 4 or 5 times. Melbourne United came out, first possession, got an open look for their best player. Robert Franks yet to take a field goal, and we know he's their main offensive weapon.
Harris grabs the rebound, wants to push the tempo here. So he uses Franks, gives it up, Drimmick. Back to Harris where it started. Now Drimmick surveys the options that he has. Franks in the low block, 8 on the shot clock, elevates, comes up with his first score.
And there it is, and that's a great take. Trying to tell Drimmick right there, dribble over, take 1 or 2 more dribbles, slide over, give me the ball with a better angle. It's a good face-up, easy mid-range hit.
Guys, I'd be interested to what your thoughts on, would you play Antonius Cleveland with 2 fouls? Wouldn't you sit him, you know, maybe get some minutes late in the second quarter? It's a high risk.
Oh, you're spot on, Aaron. As soon as he picks up that second foul, you've got to take him out. But if for any reason, even if you want to put him back in the end of the first quarter, to let him calm his jets, because he clearly came in a little overzealous, just to say, look, you've got 2, just take a breather here, go out there and be a little smarter. Instead, he stayed at the level he was at, and that last foul was just inexcusable, and now he sits down for what you'd expect to be an extended period of time.
I've been in these situations before, and sometimes you come out so hyped because you know how, you know, you got to set the tone, how imperative it is to win this game. It looked like he's looking right back at us, right?
he heard me. He's listening, Corey.
And it's like, no, Ian Clark. Games like this, you got to try to get out of that first quarter without picking up a foul, let alone 3.
And that's the tough side of it. If you're CJ Bruton, hindsight's a beautiful thing. Sometimes you need to save a player from themselves. There's no doubt Antonius Cleveland, the great Brett Maher, just a little pepperoni slice. Why not? Why not, Marzi? Made sure not to leave some for later. That's when you know you are great. But as I say, Corey, you need to maybe save a player from themselves, because you can see, okay, he's just a little tense right now on that end. I need to pull him out, even though there's no doubt he wanted to stay out there.
He'd have for sure picked up that 4. 4 in the first. We'll see you in the 4th.
See you next week.
Brad Newley. Ends over. Aquera. Baton Mays. Shot clock rolls to 6 as Lee gets it in with a height advantage on Hiram Harris. He spins baseline and too easy. Opens his scoring account.
Way too easy. Hiram Harris has the strength. He doesn't have that height.
Sunday Detch with the ball carrying duties. Rolls it down low. Here's Franks against Aquera. Settles. A shot over the top. Couldn't get it done, and now Lee grabs the rebound. Inside the last 2 minutes of the opening quarter, Baton Mays exploring, feeds Newley, works to the baseline. Tough shot, couldn't finish it. Lee, the offensive rebound and the putback.
It's been incredible for them, Marcus Lee. Just possessions like that. You threw it to him. That last play down the floor, let him go to work one-on-one, but he's just going to get on the offensive glass. He's going to continue to work, to hustle, and then down the other end. Probably dodges one there. That's him probably not understanding that Daniel Johnson is always an offensive threat when he's on the floor. Loves that little turnaround jump shot.
Aquera looks off. Harris wide open, knocks down the triple there. 3 of 7 from deep, and they've opened up a 9-point lead.
And this is what I spoke about the last 2 games from Adelaide, the desperation. Yes, you probably make the right call to stunt and test David Aquera, but when your season's on the line, that's got to be a straight closeout. You want to set the tone. Someone else has to come and trust and get your player constantly on the move. You can't just be relaxed, and it looks too relaxed right now.
Well, good news for Adelaide is the return of Mitch McCarron, and Coach CJ Bruton spoke pre-game to Aaron Phillips about the captain coming back.
Well, when he had to go, it was kind of one of those things that, you know, family first, and to see him get on the plane and get back home, even though he didn't get there in time, it's definitely a special moment to welcome any child into the world. But we're all excited for him as a team and as a family and as a club. We're also very excited to have him back on the floor for us tonight.
It's certainly great to have Mitch McCarron back. Now the father of 2, Cora Hope McCarron. The latest addition for he and wife Abby.
Late scratching from that Brisbane game, had to jump on a plane and try and get back as quick as possible. Got a nice dog Murph as well. The family filling up in the McCarron household.
Sure is. Well, look, your chance to win the trip of a lifetime to the USA for you and a mate, being provided here by Reebok. Flights, accommodation, spending money included. Fans, you can just enter via the QR code you can see on the screen there, or head to shack.nbl.com.au for your chance to be part of what would be a memorable time.
100%, that would be memorable.
Right now, Adelaide down 9. A 7-0 run here from Melbourne. They scored the first 5 of the game, and Adelaide been on the chase ever since. Sunday Detch goes solo off the front of the rim. 1 of 4 from long range, Adelaide.
Last couple of possessions, there has been just no offense being ran. Just one-on-one basketball. That ain't going to cut it against a tough defensive unit like Melbourne United.
Good pressure from Detch, Springer free, got it back from Drimmick and adds the 2.
And those are the kind of pressure acts on the defensive end they need for as close to 40 minutes as possible. We've seen it, to be honest, in 3-minute spurts in the last 2 games. Against Perth, we saw it right at the end. That was about it. And scarcely against the Bullets.
Sequeira puts it on the deck against McCarron, rushes to the hoop, couldn't finish it. Lee tried to keep it alive, but Adelaide will get it back.
Well, I think they can have a chat about this, because the way Marcus Lee had tapped it into Adelaide, it looks like it may go back to Melbourne United. There is that pressure. Sunday Detch gets out on the break. There we go. Referees have come together and looked like it was the right call.
8 seconds.
So they've changed. Now it's going to be Melbourne ball. 8 on the shot clock. And foul going to be called on Melbourne.
Good job by Sunday Detch. Talk about playing aggressive defense. XRM pushes off a bit. Offensive foul.
Well, I think that foul's on David Aquera for a moving screen, but again, that only happens if Sunday Detch decides, you know what, I don't want to get screened here. Let me try and fight through a screen. You have to put a little bit more into that said screen, and you get the turnover.
McCarron wheeling and dealing to the baseline. Feeds Daniel Johnson. He's off the mark. Well done, Franks. Kept it alive and gets the 2.
Just like that, it's a 5-point game. Good job on the old boards. Substitution coming in. Harris back in the game.
Get together.
So both teams have used 8 players here in this opening quarter. As we look for the last play before quarter time, Rattar Mace against McCarron. Now looks for the penetration against Daniel Johnson. Can't complete it. Tip in works. Kept alive by Newley, the veteran, to get another 2 on the buzzer. And at quarter time, it's Melbourne United who enjoy a healthy lead here at the end of 1. Melbourne United on a 4-game winning streak, looking to extend that to 5 in the city of Churches, and they get the early honours against Adelaide. Chris Golding scored the first 10 points for Melbourne United. They led by as many as 9 during the opening quarter, and they settled for a 7-point lead here at the end of 1. 28-21 is the equation. Adelaide with a possession arrow, wearing their throwback jerseys to the 1998 championship winning team And they need to find some starch, particularly at the defensive end, but sitting down with 3 fouls, their best defender, Antonius Cleveland, is hampering their chances as Daniel Johnson draws a foul on Newley and a trip to the free throw line.
A good job by Sunday Dech turning the corner, getting to the rack. He misses, but Marcus Lee gets out of place, trying to attempt to block that shot, which puts DJ in a position to get the O boards.
He's been the bright spark right now, Sunday Dech. Coming in, he made an impact on a couple of possessions defensively. And we looked back at that first quarter, and they had little moments where their defense got up and in. They caused some turnovers from Melbourne United, but in the end, with no Ian Clark, he was laid out, they still gave up 28 points.
But, I mean, think about this, though. Chris Goulin came out blazing with 13. Outside of that, 15 points.
Oh, you're spot on. And I'll tell you what, right now, if I'm Sunday Dech, whenever his next substitution is, if that happens to coincide at the same time Chris Golding comes back in, I'm turning around and saying no. I want that responsibility. I've come in and tried to set a tone. Let me try and limit Chris Golding when he comes in.
Shot clock to red numbers for Tucker. All got stuck there, and he's come up empty.
Mind you, it will be harder to do now that he has got the first 13 points in the first quarter.
What we've seen in about the last 5 defensive possessions for Adelaide is better defense. They're actually getting stops and turnovers because of their defense.
Harris hands over Dech. Shakes Tucker, goes back for more, takes him down to the low block, high off the glass. Sunday Dech gets it done. He's got 7, and only Golding with 13 has more in the game.
He's been great. Sunday Dech just an instant spark off the bench, and here comes that man ready to check back in.
Newley puts it head down, couldn't find the target though, and Harris hands over. McCarron gets to Drumick, who caught it in rhythm. His 3 ball is short. Newley grabs the rebound.
Somebody got to get him in the open court.
Lee back to Rattan Mays. 1 of 2 from the field so far. Xavier Rattan Mays isolated against Harris. Pulls the trigger unsuccessfully. So Melbourne scoreless here through the first 90 seconds. At this stage in the opening quarter, they had 8 points. Here's Drumick feeding Harris. Shot clock rolls to single digits. Sunday Dech went back for the step back, overcooked it, and now Rattan Mays goes hard. Well done, Harris. Read what was coming next and just blew up the play designed for Ray John Tucker.
And so many times you get on a break and the defense knows exactly what's going to happen, like Hiram Harris did there, but he still had the opportunity where it doesn't matter. If you throw that high enough, it doesn't matter if Harris reads the play.
Knocking down the triple as well.
They tempted him. They sat right off him. Last 3 possessions.
But it's starting on the defensive end. That's giving them the energy. Harris. They play off of him. He knocks it down.
1 of 8 from long range this season coming into this game. Hiram Harris gets Adelaide back to within a single point. They've scored 6 points to none here as we go courtside to Erin Phillips with a special guest.
Well, guys, it doesn't get any more special than this. Brett Maher, thank you so much for joining us here, catching up with the 1998 championship team. How's it been catching up with the guys?
Yeah, it's been really good. Some old stories, and yeah, most of the guys haven't changed. It's good to see. We don't catch up as often as we should. So to see Mark Davis, Rupert Sapple, and the guys, it's great.
Who hasn't changed the most in your eyes? Who's the same old larrikin back in 1998?
Oh, I think nearly everyone. They're still in pretty good shape, actually. It's a shame Paul Rees couldn't be here tonight. He's always the same. And also to get some of the guys that are in the States, KB and Darnell are over there at the moment, so it would have been nice to have seen them as well.
You're a firefighter. How's life in the fire brigade for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a really good job. It's similar to playing in a team environment. Every day's different, so yeah, I love it.
Now, this 36ers team, is there still belief? What do you see tonight's game and how they're going?
Look, at the start, I thought they were going to get blown away. The way Golding came out and shot the ball, I think they've done really well to get it back to a point, and hopefully they can continue on. These 2 teams are finding out for that last spot in the finals, so it's going to be pretty intense, I think.
Thank you so much, Brett. Thanks, Aaron.
Now, two superstars of South Australia, Brett Maher and Aaron Phillips there. Brett Maher, the game's record holder in Adelaide, 524 games for the 36ers, and he hit 1,162 threes at 41% during his career.
That is incredible. I mean, just to have the durability to play that many games.
Yep.
It's an incredible feat in itself.
That was a really nice set once again from Melbourne United. So Chris Golding back in. They're aware that Sunday Detch was going to stay attached, so they sent him through on the back door to allow that next play to have a wide open layup with the pick and roll. That's just using the hot guy as a diversion.
Shea Illy hands over. Peatland ready to go. Fires unsuccessfully. Well done, Illy. Tried to keep it alive. Ball comes to Johnson. Got Drimmick ahead of him. Pass into Mitch McCarron, who wasn't ready for it.
But that wasn't even a play that was even there. Marcus Lee is backpedaling right under the basket. He wasn't going to make that anyway.
So Melbourne by 3 here. A little over 3 minutes played in the second quarter. Looking to extend their streak to 5 wins. Adelaide has lost their last 4. Daniel Johnson grabs the rebound. Robert Franks hands over. Sunday Detch is being busy, goes back to Franks and just couldn't collect the pass under pressure. Adelaide turn it over.
Robert Franks just 2 of 3 from the field with 4 points. Adelaide would love to see him get going on the offensive end.
Coming off 17-6 in the overtime loss to Brisbane 48 hours ago, Robert Franks, and averaging 18 a game, 6th in the competition. He's Tucker feeling it, knocking down the 3 ball.
He's just a completely different player from the first half of the year.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Completely different.
Because a lot of the shots he was shooting, especially from deep to open the season, they were rushed, they were poor, ill-timed. Even that one there, he's just shooting at 39% for 3.
Hard at Franks, who did well to stand his ground and had a loose ball. And Melbourne will get it back.
It's a really good ball up from Robert Franks. Brajon Tucker does that extremely well. The way he can finish through contact, he hangs in the air. Franks stayed straight up.
And Tucker now in the top dozen in the competition in terms of three-point makes. At 38%, he's hit 44 threes. After a slow start, and speaking of people who knock down threes, this man does it better than anyone.
But that can't happen. If you're Sunday Detch, there was only one screen. XRM fell over, and you still can't get enough there to blow it up. And if you're the inbound guy, whoever's defending the inbound, you've got to be shading, knowing Chris Golding's going to come to the corner. He's already hit one. You've got to shade to that side.
McCarron lost the handle, goes back to retrieve it. Against his former team, his deck, shot clock to 2. This is going up. Nick Marshall forced to fire, can't connect. So middle stages of the second. We started this quarter with Melbourne on top by 7. Adelaide cut it to 1. Now it's out to 8. It's been eventful as Illy takes on McCarron. Wants the dish to Lee, who throws it down.
Just great timing from Shea Illy. Just threw a couple of fakes in there, enough to draw the defense and give it to Marcus Lee. Oh, a silver platter.
9 unanswered points from Melbourne United as the margin back out. The double figures. Marshall puts it on the deck against Golding. One way, back the other. Tough shot, wouldn't work for him.
Good one-on-one defense.
Chance for Melbourne to expand the margin. Illy and Xavier Rattan-Mays combined. Shot clock to 10. Illy steps beyond the three-point line. Caught it deep. Franks gets after the rebound. So a chance for Adelaide to break the drought. Nice pass from Franks. Well done, Shea Illy, to stop Kai Soto. Called for the foul.
That looked like a clean block.
Didn't want.
Let's see the replay.
He wanted the challenge, and Chris Golding looks like he talked him out of it. Great heads-up play.
Oh, that's good defense.
I'm not sure why.
That is good defense.
Chris Golding talked him out of it.
There was no faking on the screen up on. Okay. Wanted to make sure, Mark. Here we go, 2 shots.
It was a good heads-up play. The pass was on point. You don't expect the point guard of the other team to come across and contest the big man at the rim like that.
Well, Shea Illy's got 7 blocks to his name this season. Same number as Mason Peatling.
I'm not sure how many of them have come on the opposition centre.
So a double-figure lead here for Melbourne, who have made all the noise so far, and Adelaide on their heels as they look to retrieve the situation. A little over 4 minutes out from half-time. There's some room for both these teams in the top 6. May not be room for either of them when it's all said and done. Tom Mays off the mark. Lee, the offensive rebound to keep it alive. The shot clock rolls to single digits once more. Lee muscling up against Kai Soto, and good hands there from Sunday Ditch. Blows up the play.
Battle of the length right there. Marcus Lee and Kai Soto.
Soto 218 centimetres. Marcus Lee at 211. Good hands from Adelaide as they break the play down again, and Sunday Ditch goes to work, adds another 2. He's got 9 in the game.
Well, these are big minutes right now. Antonius Cleveland has subbed back into the game with 3.5 minutes to go in the second quarter with those 3 personals.
Lee with it. Now Golding, guarded by Ditch. Rolls, fires the 3. Can't connect. So Nick Marshall puts it on the deck. Hands over now. Kai Soto against Marcus Lee. Steps beyond him off glass. Adds another 2. Adelaide close to within 5.
Nice take. Good footwork. Up and under.
He's been terrific since entering the starting lineup. Kai Soto looks like he's just playing on another level of confidence. And what he's brought to this team, and it's really nice to see, and continues to grow.
This man right here needs to get busy on the offensive end.
Takes on Peatling, adds another 2. Adelaide has scored 7 unanswered points here to close to within 3.
And it actually looked like it was going to get taken away from him this game once Melbourne United got to 10 points ahead. But credit Adelaide for fighting back.
Well, Melbourne scored 9 without reply, and Adelaide have hit back with 7 of their own. 2.5 to play here in the first half. Nearly exploring drop-off pass to Peatling was nice to watch.
Good job by Shea Ely. He knows the man that's guarding him has 3 fouls, so man-of-the-door defense.
4 assists for Shea Ely, 5 for Adelaide as a team.
Maybe a
like
charge.
an offensive foul. Robert Franks
Just picked it right in the end. There you go on the break off the steal on the Amy replay of Sunday Tetch. Made it look a little harder than he wanted probably in the end. 2 points. Still counting. He's got 9 points, taking 10 field goals.
Here we go.
I like that. TJ Bruton's going to sit Cleveland down. Just don't want to risk anything.
Shea Ely picks up the dribble, uses Marcus Lee as we move inside the last 2 minutes of the first half. Pass goes astray, so Melbourne turn it over for the 7th time in the game. Adelaide has 6 turnovers.
That's the same set they ran at the start of the game and then possession after. Throw it into Marcus Lee. Goes to set that away screen for Ray John Tucker, but Shea Ely just put a wrinkle in to set a double stagger, and Marcus Lee just passed it a little too early. It would have been open. Marcus Lee just held the ball for a split second longer.
Nick Marshall with it. Now Drimmick. Covered by Golding. Puts it on the deck. Back to Marshall, who fires from deep. Can't connect. Well done, McCarron. The offensive rebound to keep it alive. Franks had it slapped out of his hands. They'll need to reset here. Shot clock to 5 as Franks uses McDrimmick. His 3 ball on the bottom of the net. Adelaide back to within 2.
Just great hustle by Adelaide. Second chance opportunity. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Finds Drimmick, and he hits a big 3.
He's been terrific as well, Anthony Drimmick.
He really has.
Coming back. And you talk about next year and going forward, I think if you're Adelaide, you're trying to keep some core together. With obviously, there's going to be some changes after the season that they've had, but I think Anthony Drimmick is one that you can really look at to continue to build on it and put a real strong team around going forward.
Right, stolen away from Ray John Tucker. He and Franks in the 2-man game. Oh, Aquera got plenty of that, but a foul's been called on Melbourne.
It's just, look, All season, we've talked about them giving up, them meaning Adelaide, giving up 90 points per game and the lack of defensive intensity and being consistent on D. We're seeing a defensive team right now in a great effort by this Adelaide 36ers.
Gave up 28 points in the first quarter, just 11 so far in the second. And if you're an Adelaide fan watching, you're probably thinking, we can do this, but where is it over the course of a 40-minute game?
Agreed.
It's just too patchy.
Aquera sits down. His third personal foul. Same problem as Antonius Cleveland. This season, with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. You heard right. You can enter now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win $50,000 thanks to Latrobe Financial. Get involved. Get to the website and find out more. Anthony Drimmick, well, he had his season high of 21 when these teams played in Melbourne back in round 7, and he's coming off a 20.6 rebound game in the overtime loss to Brisbane 48 hours ago. He's been excellent for Adelaide this season.
No, he has. He's spot on, and that's what I mentioned. You're looking for some pieces you want to definitely carry into NBL24. I think Anthony Drimmick needs to be one of those.
That's a fact.
11-2 run here from Adelaide. After Melbourne had opened up a double-figure lead, Adelaide have come storming back into the equation. And going to try and edge a little closer here, maybe even retake the lead. So they've called a foul on Marcus Lee here. His first personal, fourth team foul on Melbourne in this quarter.
Didn't have to do it. Robert Franks had that rebound.
It's the only area of his game, Marcus Lee, that he has struggled with since being here. He's fouled out 5 times this season, Marcus Lee. And little things like that don't help.
Well, we see it so often with new imports coming into the league. It takes a while to adjust to the officiating and the physicality in the NBL.
Drimmick in traffic. Draws a foul. So free throws to come here with Melbourne over the limit, and a chance for Adelaide to retake the lead.
Who's that foul on? I think is that Peatland or Lee?
Oh, they've called it on Marcus Lee. So his second personal.
About 10 seconds to play. And remember, they're without Isaac Humphries and Dave Barlow. 2 key big men for them.
Man, this has been a great effort by Adelaide.
No doubt. And well, you keep talking about it, and it's no surprise. When they set this tone on the defensive end, they have enough talent that the offensive end is going to take care of itself. And even if they're not getting through sets, they're not trying to run the right play at the right time. You've got enough guys who can break it off and make shots. You've got Robert Franks. You've got the hustle that Anthony Drimmick and Sunday Detch have showed. Mitch McCarron's going to try and set everybody up. And that's not even including Cleveland, who's got the foul trouble, and Ian Clark, who's not there tonight.
Drimmick makes the extras. Puts Adelaide back in front here after they were down 10 with less than 5 minutes left in this quarter. 13-2 run for Adelaide. And Melbourne come up empty again. Adelaide can slow it down here. The shot clock some 4 seconds inside the game clock.
I'd like to see Robert Franks get a look.
McCarron for Drimmick. Shot clock to red numbers now. Here's Robert Franks taking on Peatling. Steps beyond the three-point line. Couldn't get it done, nor can Drimmick on the buzzer. So Melbourne get it back, but it's just not going to get an effective shot away. So halftime arrives here, and after being down 10 in the second quarter, Adelaide lead by 1. It's 40-39.
No Ian Clark. Cleveland with 3 fouls. They were down 10 points in this second quarter, and they figured out a way to lock up on defense and have the lead at halftime.
Well, CJ Bruton say recently the media Jekyll and Hyde type season, and we're seeing it right here in the first half. Really poor in the first 10 minutes, a lot better in the second, and now they're in front.
Sunday Detch had a big part to play in that. He's with Erin Phillips.
Thanks, guys. Sunday, your energy off the bench was a massive turning point. Is that your game? Is that what you pride yourself on?
Yeah, for sure. Look, we came out a little bit flat, and, you know, watching from the bench, you get to see the flow of the game, and just, you know, the bench told me to go out there, play hard, you know, get some stops on defense, and the offense will come.
You guys were down by 10, but there was that defense, wasn't it, that brought you back into this game?
Yeah, it's been us all year long. You know, we've been inconsistent, but when we want to guard and, you know, we lock down, we get stops, we get a lot of layups.
2 quarters to go. You know, we've been a bit inconsistent. Is that the focus now for this next second half?
Yeah, we want to clean up the O boards and, you know, keep getting stops and running and pushing in trains.
Good luck in the second half.
Sunday Ditch there with Aaron Phillips. We're celebrating Heritage Round. Darnell Mee was one of Adelaide's all-time greats. Let's catch up with him now.
Darnell Mee goes coast to coast and stops him in the hole.
It was really special because no one expected it.
And the Adelaide 36ers are the 1998 Mitsubishi Challenge champions, sweeping the Southeast Melbourne Magic in consecutive games.
I think we were predicted to finish 7th in the league that year. You know, the guys have come off a year where they hadn't made the finals, and they brought in, I think, 5 new guys: me, KB, Paul Rees, Dean Brogan. So, you know, we were just getting like a whole new team together. So we were just playing and not thinking championship. We were trying to get better every day. We felt our style also, the way that we played kind of freely and up and down, contrasted against theirs, and if we could get going, it would be hard for them to keep up with us. We knew that we could play with that team, and all it took was for us to get over that hump, and you know, we kind of did it in a big way.
The fans are on their feet now. It's all over. First blood in the grand final goes to the Adelaide 36ers.
We got to Adelaide, and it was like, okay, we are the imports, which is short for import to us. So we knew we had to show that we could play, but it wasn't a selfish thing. We wanted to win more than anything. Everything just gelled because we all had one thing in mind: let's win. It was absolutely wonderful the way the city of Adelaide treated us. And it's ironic because if you go back at that time, I think the Crows had won, the Lightning had won. I think there's 3 or 4 sports teams in that town of Adelaide had won championships that year. So it was easy for them to get championship, you know, fatigue. But oh my goodness, when we came back for the next week, I mean, I don't think we got more than 3 hours sleep. We were go out. I learned what hair of the dog was then. You know, that was like, what is that? It's like, well, come on, we got to do it again. Like, well, let's go. But it was wonderful. The city was just, I mean, it was great. It was great. My time in Adelaide is probably those 4 years I played, in 4 seasons I was there, were probably my most happiest, outside of the last game against Wollongong, of course, happiest time I've had playing basketball, because I was playing a lot, I was enjoying it, and I enjoyed the guys I played with. Not that I ever had any bad teammates or anything, but at that time, it was just magic for us to just be out there playing, and to be playing well.
We need to talk about John Riley and
Great to have your company. Saturday night hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and after Melbourne burst out of the blocks, Chris Golding scored the first 10 of the game for United. They led by as many as 9 in the opening quarter, and then by 7 at quarter time. They got out to double figures in the second before Adelaide stormed back into the equation and actually lead here at half-time, 40-39. Corey Williams, Pete Hooley with me in commentary here. Adelaide cranked it up at the defensive end and things started to go their way.
Listen, I love what I saw, but we all knew that they had it in them. We just haven't seen it consistently. And once they showed it, they got the lead. It started in the second quarter, if you ask me, when they turned this thing around on defense. Great start by Cleveland. But, you know, I don't want to hog this. This man right there, talk about it, Hooley.
I mean, Chris Golding's exceptional in the first quarter, but if you want to look at the summary of the Adelaide 36ers' entire season, that first half is it, in a nutshell. The first quarter, they were so poor defensively. They had little patches still in that first quarter, but you gave up 28 points. Chris Golding had 13 points of his own in the first quarter. The second quarter, you come out and build on those patches and put together 10 minutes of really solid basketball on the defensive end. You're up and in, you're getting turnovers like these, you're getting deflections, you're getting out and running. Robert Franks got going a little bit. Drimmick was great, extra efforts, and all of a sudden you're in front by 1. Story of the season summed up in one half of basketball right there from the 36ers.
Golding was outstanding. Sunday Detch put the clamps on him, though. Did a good job defensively, but came up with the first points of the game, knocking down a 3 inside 20 seconds, Chris Golding. Then backed it up with the next 2 and then knocked down another. He had 10 points. He was just on fire.
I mean, he had their first 10, 6 of 9 in the half, 2 of 5 from downtown, 15 points. But, you know, when you get a guy like this, we all know he's a stud, he's a superstar. He's an NBL legend still playing on the court. When you get a guy like that going, it's going to be tough. But somehow they figured it out in the second quarter defensively, and now they have the lead.
And there is the shot chart. And right now, when you come out for the third quarter, whoever goes to Chris Golding, you've got to understand, all you want to do is make him work for his shots because he's feeling good. He's going to hit a lot of tough shots. That's just what Chris Golding does. You just got to try and make him work for it as much as possible, and we saw that in the second quarter.
Well, they're restricted to only 11 points in that second period, Melbourne, and 1 of 8 from long range. So they're shooting woes. They've got to retrieve those here. Now, the Adelaide at the moment enjoying a single-point lead. So half-time here in Adelaide. Both teams desperate for a win as they look to keep their playoff hopes alive. Adelaide 40, Melbourne 39. We've got more coming at you on Saturday night right after this. Thanks for sharing your Saturday night with us here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Adelaide 10 down. They get back in front 40-39. Aaron Phillips is courtside for us tonight. And Aaron, what was the vibe coming in tonight for Adelaide on a 4-game losing streak? Another big crowd. Were they optimistic?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, their backs are against the wall, but this crowd is really pushing them over the line. So it'll be interesting to see if they can sustain this defense that they've been getting back in the game with. So if they can do it for 4 quarters, they're a very good chance to win this game.
Well, they need to bring more defensive intensity. Antonius Cleveland to start the second half here with those 3 fouls that he picked up in the opening quarter.
Oh, you're tired. That's what happens when you sit on the bench with 3 fouls. They're going to need him. No doubt about it.
Melbourne go back to their original starting 5 as well. Golding against McCarron. Works away from him now. Pulls up for the jumper. It's off the mark by Soto. Grabs the rebound. Number 7 for him in that category.
And again, that's not a bad look for Chris Golding, but Mitch McCarron just making him work for it and just contesting that shot. You've got to continue to do that for the next 20 minutes.
Soto puts it on the deck. Jump stop down on the baseline. Adds the 2.
And the talent that this young man has. His ability. I haven't seen a jump stop by a 7'1", 7'2" guy. I don't think ever.
Bit of a pro hop vibe.
Tucker bounces into the paint, feeds Shea Ely, who works past Cleveland, cranks the rebound. And Cleveland off and running in a mismatch against Shea Ely. He guessed the right way.
Yeah, sure did. And I tell you what, Antonius Cleveland, we know how good he is in transition. Pull the ball out. If there is any player in the league you do not want to try and tempt on the break, it's Shea Ely. Have a look at this. He's just going to read it. And I tell you what, this is a bit of a concern here because that's a right elbow, it looked like, to Shea Ely. We know he's had the concussion issues.
I'm down here.
Did get straight back up.
I mean, if you know you have 3 fouls, the last thing you want to do is be uber aggressive. The first 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter, you pretty much sat the whole game. And the numbers weren't in your favor.
Well, you seem to have shaken it off a little bit from Shea Ely, but I would be surprised if he doesn't come out of this game very shortly, just based on that we know he missed half the season with those back-to-back concussions and those delayed symptoms.
He's Golding firing the 3 and filling it up once more. So he's got 18 to lead all scorers.
And no surprise, you see Xavier Rattan-Mayes ready to check in. Maybe they're going to have the doctor glance over Shea Ely because it looked like a good hit.
Soto fires unsuccessfully. Tucker the rebound, off and running. Nice pass to Peyton, rejected by Kai Soto.
Great rim protection. Goes over and helps on Tucker. Tucker passes it over. It's great footwork. It's just an ability to get to that ball. Good defense by the big fella. Replay.
Big block.
And TG43 continues to torch. 20 on 8 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from downtown. CG43's in the building.
Melbourne back on top. Sunday ditch to the elbow, picks up the dribble. McCarron next against Tucker. Look away now. Soto for the finish.
Great pass, better finish.
And that's why he's on NBA radar. In fact, there's some NBA scouts in the building. LA Clippers is in the building. New York Knicks in the building. Sam Tetelevich, Adam Tetelevich, and assistant GM of the Knicks, Walt Perrin, is in the building.
Well, you know who he's there to watch, though. You know why he's watching?
Tell me.
They've got the draft rights to Brad Newley. That's what they're looking at. What are you talking about? He got traded. The draft rights got traded to the Knicks. Got sent a care package. It's not too late to be called up, is it?
37. He's a young 37. Rattan-Mayes with it. Yet to score in the game. None of 6 from the field, Xavier Rattan-Mayes. Breaks on Sunday, then gets close to the cup and breaks the drought.
So skillful with it. Beautiful take.
It's almost 3 minutes played in the 3rd. And Adelaide led by 1 at halftime. Find themselves trailing again. McCarron feeds Drimmick. Shot clock rolls to 5. Franks goes to Soto, was there for a long time, and draws a foul and off to the free throw line.
He definitely could have put a tent down there. He was camping out.
What's he want? I'm screaming for it. Have a look at that.
9,505. So an amazing record for Adelaide. Their 4th straight record crowd. Have broken it 4 games in a row.
Just keep adding seats today, Kate. Where are they finding all the extra seats? Just throwing them in there?
Well, what happened?
Standing room only?
No, Pete, because people obviously, some people buy tickets, are season ticket holders, and don't arrive. So they encourage everyone on social media coming into this game. If you're not coming to the game and you have tickets, please share them so we can get the numbers up. So they haven't reached capacity, but they've sold all the tickets.
And it's the place to be in Adelaide, isn't it? They continue to show up.
Well, interestingly, Adelaide United played in the A-League last night with a crowd short of 9,000. So Adelaide drawing more people. They play across the road from one another in Hindmarsh. So the Adelaide 36 is outdrawing Adelaide United, the A-League team. It's an interesting scenario. And full credit to Nick Babato and all his crew in the front office of the Adelaide 36 is doing a great job, but they need to get it done on the floor as well. At the moment, they can't contain Chris Golding.
Well, first of all, if you're coming off a screen that hard and that high, the big guy cannot be camping in the paint. Well, you got a hard show with a guy shooting as well.
Spot on. You can get away with playing that drops coverage where the big steps off against other guys. Not Chris Golding, because it's just not going to happen.
Golding's got 8 of Melbourne's 10 since half-time. He had 13 of their 28 in the opening quarter. And in the corner, that's some sort of a shot. Now I don't believe it.
Oh, no.
Time out.
Oh, no.
26. 10 of 14.
He's a bad, bad man when he gets in a mood like this.
G43. No room to go on that baseline.
Well, no, there's not a whole lot you can do there. Anthony Drummond's contested that. Chris Golding is...
Listen, he started the game in a zone.
He's basically in Hindley Street there launching that one.
5 of 8 from long range, 26 points, including 11 in this quarter. Of course, these teams are battling it out. They're trying to get into the finals, which this year expands to 6 teams.
Well, here we go.
Here is the play-in tournament structure for you.
Well, right now, as it stands, Sydney, you're going to lock in that Series 2, finishing first, and it looks very, very likely the Cairns Taipans, even though they lost, will finish second. So they're going to bypass all that play-in tournament, and the 5th and 6th, so you can't lose. You've got to continue to win basically the whole way through. 3rd and 4th, they do get a chance to lose a game, but then you're going to have to play the winner of 5th and 6th, and then the semi-final series as per normal, and then the grand final series. So anything can happen. As we mentioned, if you get hot at the right time, so if you finish 5th or 6th, it doesn't matter. I'm talking back to like the Western Bulldogs we saw when they finished 8th in the footy. Doesn't matter. You just continue to win. That's all that matters right now. So that's how it's going to look. It's extremely... It's a lot more simple than it looks like there, but it's very exciting.
Exactly. If you finish 5th or 6th, the bad news is that if you keep winning, you're going to run into Sydney in a semi-final series, and they look like the team to beat at the moment. Let's go courtside to Erin Phillips.
Guys, really, really concerning for Shea Ely. He's being assessed right now by the doctors, and I reckon it's for that concussion or that hit to his head. So keep an eye on him. We know he's missed a lot of games this season with concussion, so fingers crossed he's all right.
Yeah, spot on. Aaron, you see him coming back to the bench now at the top of the screen. It was actually looked like the Adelaide 36ers doctor came across to do a bit of help on that as well, and kind of had his head in his hand. It was a good hit. It looked like a right elbow, very similar to what we saw from Milton Doyle on Dave Barlow down in Tasmania, which ruled him out. And if that is concussion again from Shea Ely, it is just unbelievably unlucky as a team, but especially individually, how many concussion injuries that they have had.
It's a 4-point game. Middle stages of the 3rd. Peatling in traffic, forces up a shot, wouldn't work. Kept alive there by Callum Dalton, who's into the game, doing a good job on the O-boards. Rattan Mays against McCarron. One way, back the other, has to reset. Shot clock to red numbers. Rattan Mays fires over McCarron, gets it done.
Listen, that was really good one-on-one defense by McCarron. Just better offense.
And that's where you can't allow your head to drop if you're Adelaide, because you have played better on the defensive end. They're just hitting some tough shots. You just got to continue to stick with it and bank that they won't get that to drop every single time down the floor.
Robert Franks needs to get it going in this game. There's no tomorrow. Good cut. He gets fouled in the act of shooting. He's going to line for 2, but he's on 6 points with on 3 of 6 from the field. That's not enough in a game as big as this one is.
No, I couldn't agree with you more, particularly no Ian Clark tonight because of a leg injury, so the offensive output falls largely at his feet. Averaging 18 a game. It's a night like this where we need to see him pushing 30.
But think about this. Cleveland got 4, so it's like both of them ain't playing. Cleveland or Clark, so he really got to step up.
Season high of 25 for Robert Franks. He's had that twice, including 2 games ago against Perth when he hit 5 of 9 threes in the game as well. But Adelaide down 5 as Newley shares it with Rattan Mays. Middle stages of the third, Rattan Mays off the slow burn, now getting a user-friendly roll.
Again, as I said, you just got to shake his hand and get back to it.
Those are 2 tough 3 balls he's hit.
After Adelaide had closed within 2, it's now back out to 8. Here's Franks. You heard the Melbourne players wanting a travel call against Robert Franks, but he gets it done.
That was not a travel either.
I've just received word that Shea Ili is officially out of this game going forward with that concussion. So that's really as brutal as it gets for everything that he's been through this season.
Here's Rattan Mays, who's got busy here in the third. Dalton for Newley. Penetration was good, but there was nothing on offer. Johnson releases the pass. Here's Robert Franks in the open court, wants to take them on, and gets it done, draws a foul.
And that's the talent that this man has. Great take. As soon as I asked for it, started giving it.
Ask and you shall receive. No, but you're right. With Antonius Cleveland especially sitting down with those 4 fouls, just got to let Robert Franks cook. Put him in the right position and trust that your best players are going to get the job done. We're seeing it on one end with Chris Goulding. Now it's time for Robert Franks to continue to do the same for Adelaide.
So, chance at a 3-point play. 6th in the league in scoring, 11th with 6 boards a game. He's hit more threes than any other player for Adelaide this season. The margin is cut to 3. Remember, Adelaide started this term with a 1-point buffer. Came up with the first score of the second half as well. Quite an arm wrestle that Chris Goulding is trying to unlock here. Dalton fires the 3. It's deep. And Nick Marshall gets after the rebound. So Adelaide with the momentum at the moment. Here's Drimmick working on Newley. Found a way pass, and then Newley's second effort was excellent.
Real good hands by Newley. Right now, I'd like to see the ball go back to the hot hand. That's a real good take. Yeah, by him, but good hands by Newley.
No, you're spot on, and this is the time where you do miss an Ian Clark as the backup point guard to come in and say, you know what, there might be an advantage. Let's just slow it down. Robert Franks is starting to get on a little bit of a roll. Let's just go back to him. And even there, I know you're trying to run the play to get the ball to Daniel Johnson, but Nick Marshall missed Robert Franks, who was open to put up a 3-ball.
Look, I'm not mad at that either.
That man can score as well.
So back to a 1-point ball game, a little over 3 minutes out from 3/4 time. Rattan Mays pushes Johnson out of the way, called for the foul.
But what about the ability of DJ sliding his feet, keeping the point guard in front of him enough to where he had to push off?
Let's go!
Well, Xavier Rattan Mays, that's called for the offensive foul. He's got a big end to this game with Shea Ili being ruled out.
Inside the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. Adelaide down 1 with possession. Nice pass from Johnson. Detch couldn't finish it. Well done, Drimmick, the offensive rebound. And a chance now for Johnson. Look away pass. Detch gets it done, and Adelaide are back in front.
DJ making plays happen for his team at both ends. Takes the charge on one end, drops the dime to Sunday Detch, and Adelaide regained the lead.
Good fight back here from Adelaide. 9 unanswered points as we go courtside to Erin Phillips with a special guest.
Yeah, another legend in the house, guys, Scotty Ninnis. Now, you were a part of every single 36ers championship, whether it's a player or a coach. I've got to ask, Why is your name not on the court instead of Brett Maher?
I remind him of that every day too, that I've got one more than he, well, two more actually, but look, I wasn't anywhere near the player that Brett was. Just very special to be part of all championships.
Very, very humble. It's very special to celebrate 25 years with a 1998 championship. What do you guys catch up and talk about? Do you reminisce on the old times or just catch up on what you're doing now?
Oh, the older we get, the better we were. So, yeah, Brett and I obviously catch up a lot, and with Rupert Sapwell. It's great to see those uniforms out here tonight as well. So, very special times in our lives.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Premium wine tours. I've got my own small little wine tour company, taking small groups to the Blossom and Claravale. A lot of fun, especially now that COVID's finished with, I'm back in business.
And then for this 36ers team tonight, what do you like, what do you dislike, what's going to get them the win?
It's an exciting game. We've got to defend the three-point line. Golding's had too many good looks, and as we know, the champion he is if you let him get going. But entertaining game. We're 1 point up at the moment, so hoping for a good result.
Well, you're a champion too. Thanks for joining me, Scott.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Scott Ninnis there with Aaron Phillips, and yes, you can get your hands on these heritage jerseys. Head to the NBLstore.com.au to grab yours. There's Golding once more, this time off the mark. And Scott Ninnis and Brett Maher, who we've interviewed tonight, I should point out, have been conducting school clinics this week in Adelaide, still giving back to the team and the club and the fans and the juniors. Great to see them still involved. Franks charges into the paint, called for the offensive foul. It's his second personal.
That's the right call. Rachel Tucker looked like he was there. Feet set. Having a look at it here. Got past Aquera. Yep, absolutely. Got there in time. Got outside the restricted area. Took it straight through the chest.
19 points apiece in this quarter. Adelaide won quarter number 2, 19-11. Melbourne took the opening quarter 28-21. Rattan Mays peels off another triple. He's got 11 all in this third term.
And I think now you're going to start to see him be more aggressive once again. No Shea Illy. He's going to have to play major minutes and start to tick the scoreboard over a little bit as well while he's out there.
Roll it down low. Franks working on Aquera, playing with 3 fouls. Got him going the wrong way. Helps himself to 2 more. 15 in the game now for Franks, including 9 in this quarter. Ties it away at 61.
Key imports stepping up. XRM and Robert Franks in this quarter.
Tucker on cue joins the party as well. He's into double figures. So Melbourne on top by 3.
Go back to the well.
An offensive foul called. And France wrestling down with Aquera. Third personal for Robert Franks.
Back-to-back offensive fouls. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Robert Franks just
there wasn't even no need for that.
No, I think he just really enjoyed the United Heritage shorts. I think that's what it looked like. I think that's a decent grab. Either that or just trying to check the hamstring.
10 turnovers for Adelaide now. And, well, this season, with thanks to MG, we're giving away a brand new MG ZSEV electric car valued at $44,990. Enter now, nbl.com.au/winmg. Get involved as Rajon Tucker does just that and knocks down another 3. And Melbourne lead by 6.
Nick Marshall closed out to Rajon Tucker like it was round 1. With the way that he was shooting the ball. Hands right down, a couple of feet back. You've got to close out and respect that 3 ball now. He's shooting that at an exceptional rate. So is that man.
Drimmick answers with a triple of his own, so he's into double figures. 11 points, including 2 of 3 from deep.
This is just setting up a beautiful fourth quarter.
So much riding on this. Adelaide looking to keep their season alive. Likewise, Melbourne wanting to play finals. And Rattan Mays, who missed his first 6 shots, has now gone 5 of 5.
That is his 4th 3-ball in this quarter.
The last few minutes.
Terrific third term. With Shaley going down with concussion. Xavier Rattan Mays has lifted. And here's Sunday Ditch taking them on and earning a trip to the free throw line.
Yeah, you're right. They're going to be shallow. No Illy. Dave Barlow out. Isaac Humphries. Marcus Lee just picked up his 4th personal foul. And it's there. You see that right leg. Right leg to hip. Exactly what Chris Reed indicated. So that's 4 fouls. So in comes Zach Triplett. They're going to have to play small. Melbourne United, they have played a few games with Brad Newley at the 4 spot and had a lot of success there as well.
And a reminder that for every dunk during the month of January, Sportsbet will donate $500 to Australian prostate cancer. Dunkueri is all about raising awareness for men to get checked for prostate cancer. It's a blood test to start with. That's all you need to do. So if you're over 50, please make an appointment with your GP. If you'd like to make a donation or for more information, visit australianprostatecancer.org.au. We've had 140 dunks in January, or Dunkueri as we like to call it, $70,000 raised. So well done to Sportsbet. As we arrive at three-quarter time with Melbourne holding sway by 6 points. With a quarter to play, it's Melbourne 70, Adelaide 64. Do not go away. We've got more Saturday Night Hoops and the Hungry Jacks NBL coming at you right after this. Just 18 regular season games to play after tonight. So this is vital for the Adelaide 36ers and Melbourne United as they look to force their way up the ladder. Currently 7th and 8th in the standings, outside the top 6. That's where you need to be if you're going to be playing in the postseason. The Phoenix are there, but as you can see, Melbourne United, if they can maintain this lead, will move ahead of the Phoenix, who have to host Perth tomorrow.
Big game.
And as you can see, Perth just above them on the ladder as well. For Adelaide, well, if they can't find a way to win here, you would think 11 wins with 3 to play, with games against Cairns, Sydney and Melbourne to come. That's looking pretty tough for them to try and climb into the top 6. And as I say, even if you finish 5 or 6 and you can progress, you're going to run into Sydney in a 3-game semi-final series. Well, good luck with that.
100%, but if you want to be a champion, you have to knock off the champions eventually.
Exactly. So we're underway. Adelaide with a possession arrow. Down 6, both teams in front during that third quarter.
Here is that small ball lineup that I was referring to. So Marcus Lee's got the 4 fouls. They're missing Barlow and Humphries. Brad Newley's going to slog into the power forward spot. Mason Peeling's going to play the 5.
Golding, 26 points to lead all scorers. The danger man hands over Ratan Mays, who really cranked it up with 13 points, 14 points in that third quarter. After being none of 6 to start the game. Trimmick a little out of control. Here's Marshall. Seen extended minutes. Only playing tonight because Ian Clark didn't come up with a leg injury and he was moved back to the active roster. Franks, overdue from deep, comes up with his first triple of the night.
It's a big second half for him. 6 points in the first half. In the second half, 12 points scored. He's got to come up big for him.
It's going to be key. As is this man, Rattan Mays, with Shaley out with concussion sustained in the third quarter. I'll ask a lot of him. Newley muscles his way down low and comes up with a finish.
That's why I don't mind seeing him play in the power forward spot. It's kind of reinvented himself in that position because he can put the ball on the floor. We know how good he is turning the corner. And there is Nick Marshall taking advantage of his opportunities.
2-point game. And the good thing about Marshall, he's never scared. He's coming in looking for opportunity to score.
He started the season well. In fact, was part of the starting lineup for Adelaide earlier in the season, Nick Marshall. And hasn't played, though, in the last 6 games. So here he is knocking down the 3. 8 of 22 from long range this season. So Melbourne will get possession here, in front by 2. Almost 2 minutes played in the last quarter. Not too many people think Adelaide can make the top 6 if they can't win here. That's how much is riding on the line for them. Rattan Mays lost the handle. It came to Peatling, who travelled. Points won't count.
Good defensive stop by Adelaide. Let's see what they can get.
Peatling just been out of sorts a little in this game tonight. 2 of 7 from the field for his 4 points. 3 boards. Just hasn't had the impact that we've seen from him in the past. In particular, we'll hark back to the round 7 game between these teams where he had 11 and 3 in 16 minutes. So firing over the top here is Franks coming to the party.
Go back to the well. Feed the beast right now. Robert Franks is balling.
20 points. And on top of it, with that matchup, clearly his favor, he can face up and shoot right over Newley as well.
Tick over 2 minutes played in this final quarter. United restricted to just 2 points so far by Adelaide. Golding in a trap, needs help. Newley puts it on the deck. Shut down by Franks. Gets after the loose ball though. Tucker takes on Johnson. Shot clock expiring in the background, but he gets it done.
Too strong. That strong upper body strength. Beautiful take.
Well done, Drimmick, as he knifes his way down low and adds to his talent. 13 now for Drimmick as he ties it away. Rattan Mays in traffic. Franks got a hand in there. Now it's Johnson. Pass for Franks once more. He travelled. Tried to work inside Brad Newley. They turn it over for the 12th time.
That would have been a beautiful pass over to Drimmick, who was wide open at the 3. That's that extra pass to your teammate. Allow him to go get to the basket. Over to Melbourne.
Adelaide with 12 turnovers. Melbourne with 11 so far, both with 2 in this final quarter.
Tonius Cleveland checks in the game. Can he stay on the court for the remainder of this game?
7.5 minutes played, 4 personal fouls. Once again, Cam Toby's record lives to fight another day.
I was in that game too with Toby.
3 minutes, 24 seconds.
We were in Perth.
Here's Golding trying to draw contact on Hiram. Harris went on with it and came up with 2 more. 28 now for Golding on 11 of 16 at 69% from the field.
And it's hard because you want to put a lot of energy and effort into trying to shut down Chris Golding, but Rattan Mays got going, Rajon Tucker got going.
What?
Marshall wheeling and dealing, put him in the spin cycle and adds another 2.
Gave him the shrug.
Yo, listen, you gotta love Marshall because he comes in the game with swagger like a veteran. Hadn't played in, what, 6 games?
Hadn't played in his last 6 games. And has to check in here with Ian Clark, a no-show with that leg injury. And Marshall's got 7 points on 3 of 6 shooting. And plus 13, plus minus, the most of any player in the game. Golding for Newley. The pass was a dangerous one. Cleveland Gambit almost came up with a shot clock to red numbers here. Rattan Mays has been good and continues to be good. 17 now for him, including 5 of 8 from deep.
That's what I spoke about, Chris Golding. You have to worry about where he is, but Rattan Mays is turning it on. Rajon Tucker's got 15 points as well. This is just turning into a shootout.
Franks caught it deep, and Tucker snatches the rebound. 7 boards now for Tucker to go with 15 points. He's 50% from deep, and here he is knifing down low to add another 2 to those numbers.
And he had something to say to him.
It's a 5-point spread. Adelaide desperate for a score here with 5.5 left on the clock. Cleveland draws a foul on Newley, going to be his second personal.
Well, I called him a rookie, but as a development player, what is a pre-rookie? What do we go with there?
I don't know, man.
Because he's going to be a rookie whenever he's elevated onto the roster. Well, I'll tell you
second season for him. For Nick Marshall. Game number 33.
I guarantee, though, that first contracted, fully rostered spot, they're going to give him an interesting backpack to walk around with.
All part of the fun and games. This is McCarron now. Shot clock to 5. Decides to launch the 3 ball. Can't get it done. Marcus Lee grabs the rebound. He's got 7 boards to his name, along with 6 points.
Big minutes here. I understand Robert Franks probably needs a break. He's played 31 minutes.
He don't need no break.
Well, the only other guys we've seen is Rajon Tucker is feeling it right now. Antonius Cleveland hasn't had a chance to get going.
So 5:08 left on the clock here, and it's Melbourne on top, 84-76. Well, Melbourne, after finding themselves on level terms, have gone on a 12-4 run in the space of 2 and a bit minutes, and have now opened up an 8-point buffer, and it's rarely been bigger than that at any stage of the game.
They're shooting the ball from the 3 at 50%, 15 of 30. And it's been very impressive between Rajon Tucker, Chris Goulden. We know what he does, but XRM. 5 3-pointers made of 8. Rajon Tucker 4 of 7. That's the difference right there. You can put all the pressure you want on Chris Goulden, but when his teammates at the perimeter are knocking that down, they are tough to defend.
14 of 24 from 3 for those 3 blokes.
Well, it's been Melbourne United's calling card in this run that they put together where they've won 4 straight games. They find a way. It's not always the same way that they get it done, but they've been finding ways to win. And here they've been challenged with Adelaide in front in the 2nd and 3rd quarters. Well, they have gone on a run here and have opened up an 8-point lead with 5 minutes to play.
Well, they've been known, Melbourne United, if they get some wins and get things rolling, they like to keep the jerseys that get it done. And this little, that's going to be a travel. This little light blue number, as a light blue fan, it's very nice. All the heritage jerseys are beautiful, but I'm a big fan of both these jerseys.
They look great.
That Adelaide jersey is crazy.
Foul call on Caicedo. And delay of game on Melbourne for taking the shot after the whistle, which I thought we'd reined in, but still, every now and again needs a reminder. It's the first foul on Adelaide in this quarter. They've got less than 5 minutes to arrest this. Melbourne have outscored them 14 points to 12 in this quarter. And Ratam Mays, after being scoreless at half-time, continues to cook. And now he's knocked down an equal career-high 6th 3, and he's up to 20.
All in the second half.
Man, you talk about coming off the bench. Shaley goes down. He has to step up, and he does exactly that. 20.7 of 14. You see the Amy replay. Cooking from the 3, 6 of 9.
I tried to get to you before you shot.
15 of 25 from 3-point land between Ratam Mays, Chris Golding, and Rajon Tucker. Shooting absolutely lights out. As a team, 51.5% from 3.
Newley picks up the dribble. Golding sneaking baseline, couldn't find a passing lane. Single digits on the shot clock. Ratam Mays elevates once more. Heat check there. Franks the rebound and off and running. Sunday Detch. Adelaide desperate to steady here with a bucket. Soto fires over the top, comes up with a 2. He's got 15 in the game.
Been really good by Soto. Hawks played the 17.5 minutes, 15 points, 7 rebounds. And he'll sit down for his efforts. That's how good he's playing.
6 of 9.
I think you can see there, he's a bit confused by it as well.
15.7 boards, season high of 16, which came in the loss to New Zealand back on the 8th of Jan. But now we're going to need some of that defense we saw from Adelaide in that second quarter, where they restricted Melbourne to just 11 points. And there's some of Cleveland reaching in, has dislodged the ball away from Rattan Mays. 3-on-4, 4-on-3 fast break. Detch goes solo and knocks down the triple, drags the margin back to 6.
And they are not going away. Great defense by Cleveland. Comes up with the steal. Robert Franks gets it, kicks it ahead. You can see Detch continues his good form. 14 points, 6 of 13 from the field.
Nice return to form for Sunday Detch. Just 6 points, 3 boards on Thursday night in the overtime loss in Brisbane. As you see, this is the run for Adelaide. They're in Cairns on Monday the 30th, host Sydney on Friday the 3rd, and then finish in Melbourne on Sunday the 5th. That last home game, incidentally, on Friday the 3rd of Feb, tracking for another sellout. So for our Adelaide viewers, if you're thinking about going to see the 36ers at home, could be your last chance, most likely, and tickets are selling fast, so get around it. Absolutely. Want to get there. For Melbourne, outstanding from deep tonight, 16 of 32 at 50%. And it's been a good night. There's their shot chart.
That from 3. All those makes from outside. That is Chris Goulding, Tucker, and Rattan Mays. They have been lights out. 50% from 3.
And Goulding in his last 27 games has knocked down a 3. That's a chairman of the boards, Mark Davids, in the house.
Greatness. Can we get him a different hat? They're not.
You don't like that
They're
one?
not featuring anymore. The G-Man play tomorrow. Can we get him a Giants hat? We'll take the L tomorrow, probably.
I'll tell you that what a star Mark Davis was. But right now it's Melbourne up 6. Tucker got in the air, needed help, and Lee from close range adds the 2 and draws a foul on Daniel Johnson.
And see, it's those little possessions, the lapse of concentration on the defensive end, and Ray-John Tucker had absolutely nowhere to go, and Marcus Lee just put himself inside Daniel Johnson, got the gift in the end, and then Daniel Johnson unfortunately doubled down on the error, sending him to the line for an extra.
So Marcus Lee, short arm, but got after his own rebound. Read it better than anyone else.
Oh, I'm not sure I've seen too many guys get an offensive rebound off their own missed free throw.
Melbourne by 8, little over 3 minutes left on the clock. Goulding fires, it's off the mark. Lee got a piece of it, came to Peatling, and now Goulding. So they get another opportunity here. As Peatling goes for the floater in the paint, that wouldn't work. And now Adelaide get it back.
A couple of offensive rebounds there, which I think is why we're a little surprised Kai Sotto came out of this game when he did.
Touch pass from Johnson in the corner, firing. Couldn't get it done. Cleveland, but Franks can. Banks another 2.
He's been good, Robert Franks. Been good for a while now. He was really the only man who stood up over in the West against Perth.
22 in the game now for Franks, a 9 of 13 from the field. Peatling, they left him open, short on the rim. All comes to Detch, and Adelaide are running here. Cleveland to Franks, finishing touches, 2 more. 24 now for Robert Franks, including 9 in this last quarter.
That doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but Sunday Detch defended that perfectly. The ball got swung to Mason Peatling, and you just have a little bite at it, but you get to stay home to Chris Goulding, force Mason Peatling to take the 3. He misses, and then on the break,
tough left-hand finish.
Robert Franks has the 24 points, 9 boards, 6 assists, 3 blocks, filling it up.
He came to the party late in this one. Way to step it up in this second half.
As Rattan Mays escapes from McCarron. Margin cut to 4. Was 11 just 2 minutes ago. Melbourne looking to make it 5 straight wins. Shot clock rolls to red numbers here. Tucker to Lee, back to Tucker. Shot clock going to expire in the background. Can't get it done, and Adelaide with a chance to edge a little closer.
It's a really good defensive possession. Can they get a bucket?
Franks, the 3-ball. Up the front of the rim on a tip jam. Belongs to Antonius Cleveland. They're back to within 2.
He got a smile. That has to be relief.
Just wants any way to impact this game after picking up all those fouls. That's going to help.
First score since quarter time for Antonius Cleveland, playing with those fouls, and record crowd in their house, and they're getting value for money as Tucker marches down low, adds 2 to his tally.
And that one's tough because you've got to have Sunday Dech stay attached to Chris Goulding. That Spanish action where he's trying to set the back screen on the guy who set the ball screen, which was Marcus Lee. And it allows Rajon Tucker to get all the way to the hoop for a layup.
Sunday Dech has lost it under pressure. Goulding on the deck. Melbourne get it back here with less than 90 seconds to play. They lead by 4 and have possession.
It's a costly turnover.
Big afternoon coming tomorrow. Phoenix against Perth, and then Sydney against New Zealand. Here's Ratar Mays beating Newley. Shot clock winding down to red numbers again. Tucker's going to have to get busy. A little out of control. Can't convert. Trying to keep it alive at Adelaide. Get it back. Down 4. A minute to play. Cleveland for Dech in the corner. Couldn't get it done. Franks the offensive rebound, and how Newley would be called for the foul, his 3rd personal.
Not a bad foul from Brad Newley. Well, Franks looked like he was going to spin off and get a layup. But not in the bonus. My season on the line. A minute to go.
Of course, if you'd like to get involved, you can whopper your way to LA. How about this? Great competition, thanks to Hungry Jack's. Grab any large burger meal at Hungry Jack's, enter your receipt code, and you could win 4 tickets, flights, spending money, accommodation. We get you to a basketball game in the USA as well. hungryjacks.com.au/Whopper LA for more info. And right now, Dean Vickerman with plenty on his plate, but they are in the driver's seat, up 4 inside the last 60 seconds. What a run that we've had. Round 16 Heritage round in the NBL. Dech against Goulding. They want Franks working on Lee. He lost control of it. Shot clock to red numbers. Cleveland, unlikely conveyance from deep. Couldn't get it done. Tucker did well, pushing the pace as well. Cleveland playing with 4 fouls is now out of the game. He fouls out for the first time this season.
That is such a smart play from Rajon Tucker. Any other time you'd probably say to slow it down and make sure you take as much time off the shot clock, but he knew Antonius Cleveland was either going to get out of the way or potentially foul and get him out of the game. That is just really good awareness, and it kind of looked like Rajon Tucker wanted to. I think he thought, I might slow this down until he recognised who was in front of him. Put his head down and go to the free throw line.
United 3 of 5 from the free throw line. And Adelaide 10 of 15. They haven't taken a pair of free throws, Melbourne, since quarter time until now.
And Tucker hasn't taken any free throws this whole game.
No chance here for the Hungry Jack's burgers, which Adelaide fans will gleefully accept. More importantly, no addition to the scoreline is what they really want.
Oh, just praise his efforts for making that smart decision. He needs to knock this one down. Does so. 5-point ball game. Plenty of time on the clock.
So a 5-point edge with 39 seconds to play as Melbourne look to chase down a 5th straight win and hand Adelaide a 5th straight loss and virtually end their season. But as we mentioned, tomorrow, Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix against Perth. Looking forward to that clash. Perth up to 4th, Phoenix in 6th position for the moment, although Melbourne will overtake them with victory here, and that's all they'll need to win. And then Sydney against the New Zealand Breakers, 1st against 3rd. Remembering the top 3 teams in the competition in this round have lost, and the bottom 2 teams have won.
NBL23 in a nutshell. Anything can happen, especially down the stretch, and every game is so important. You can lock in Sydney finishing 1st, and besides that, yes, Cairns should finish 2nd, but everything else is up for grabs. And the MVP race, here you go.
Corey, you've won it. Who do you think is going to win it now?
Cook's got it.
Cooks has got it.
I think Cooks has done so much work this year, and he's done a lot of the work early. They've been in first all year. Red Army was on me yesterday. Oh, he didn't have a good game. The man almost had a triple-double. And I'll take that as a bad game. And they were bound to lose. Cotton's playing great. Individually, he's playing great, and their team is winning, but Cook's got the MVP, yo. That's it.
I'm with you. I think he's going to win that. But I'll tell you what, every other award now that I think about it, every other award is wide open.
Yep.
You can make a strong
far
case.
away.
You can make a strong case for a lot, especially with the change to the Rookie of the Year to the Next Generation Award, although I think that award might go to a man we saw in the previous game tonight based on the criteria, but everything else is wide open.
Lob pass from McCarron to Johnson. What a mismatch here against Chris Golding. The ball away, couldn't finish it. Came up empty. Tucker for Golding. He skips away from the defense. Looks to go coast to coast. Ambitious finish, couldn't get it done. Kept alive by Marcus Lee, and now Newley will milk the clock. A veteran play. Golding likewise will look to draw a foul, and Daniel Johnson obliges.
Looked like he didn't want to shoot the layup. Chris Golding wanted to throw the lob to Marcus Lee, and they just kind of stayed away from him and forced him to have to make something out of nothing. Adelaide look like they might come up short once again. They've had their moments.
Fourth team foul on Adelaide in this quarter, so still with one to give, and Ian Clark's face. Well, that explains the story for Adelaide. It started so promisingly, that win in the USA before the season started, the Blitz pre-season win again. Adelaide are now, well, staring down the barrel of missing finals for the 5th straight year, and that is a franchise low. And when you consider the personnel they have here and what the owner Grant Kelly has poured into this team to try and avoid a 5th straight year without finals, well, this is, I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of talk around this in Adelaide.
Yeah, there is, no doubt. As you mentioned, everything that was on the line, and anytime you go through a season like this, everything's going to get reviewed. But every player, coaches, everybody involved in the club, no doubt. And it's just been disappointing, but we've seen again in this game showed in patches they look so good. And that's why I think everybody had them, as always, are they going to get it together? If they do, they're going to be tough to beat if they put it all together. They've just been inconsistent. And this is interesting. So there's blood on the floor. Retan Mays. So Anthony Drimmick had to change his jersey just before, I believe, had some blood on it. But I've never seen your own team ice you at the free throw line to give away burgers to the state you're in.
Marcus Lee's missed the first. He's a 58% free throw shooter.
And Retan Mays has just iced him.
Stay off.
18 of 31 on the season, so burgers in the offing here. Fans will enjoy it, but as we spoke about, their season has not lived up to the expectations. Since Christmas, just 2 wins for Adelaide. They've beaten Brisbane and Illawarra, and Brisbane have since beaten them, and Illawarra are on the bottom of the ladder.
Extremely disappointing season. All of that talent. You can see the kids hyped to get on the screen. Gotta love the kids.
Now, the crowds have been great. Full credit to the Adelaide faithful for coming out in numbers tonight. 9,505. The 4th straight sellout for the 36ers. And Marcus Lee to feed South Australia some hungry Jacks. He does. Keyword is key, and the fans are going wild here. Sunday Dech for the triple is off the mark. He'll get another chance to first to Drimmick, who tried to draw a foul, couldn't get it done, and they've got the burgers, but Melbourne are going to get the win, and Tucker puts some icing on the cake for them.
And that was just for the points.
Well, that's for the percentage too.
Percentage.
Their percentage might matter. That Melbourne United.
Full time in Adelaide, and it is a 7-point win for Melbourne United, who win 5 games in a row and move into the top 6. And Adelaide's season is in tatters.
Well, it is. Melbourne United in the top 6 as it stands. They have been exceptional as of late. One of the hottest teams in the competition. And they got the job done without some key personnel down the stretch. Golding was incredible. Ray John Tucker had a massive game. Retan Mays had a huge second half. under man, they stood up when it mattered most.
Impressive, wasn't it? 16 threes, 44%. Matane 6 of 10, all in the second half. Golding 5 of 10. And Ray John Tucker 4 of 9. So Melbourne get it done, 5 in a row. And now they'll head to New Zealand. We speak about their 5 wins, not only in a row, but they've all been on the road. They have done it in style in Brisbane, down to Tassie, across to New Zealand, back to Brisbane, then to Adelaide, and now they're going back to New Zealand chasing number 6. That's some sort of display from Melbourne United.
You know what? When your back's against the wall, the truest version of you shows up.
Let's go courtside to Erin Phillips with some reaction.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Chris Goulding. Chris, 28 points, an amazing effort personally for yourself, but it was your start, it was your mindset to be aggressive. What was it coming into this game for you?
Oh, desperate team, and we wanted to be more desperate. We've been fighting for this thing for, I don't know, it feels like forever since we were 5 and 10, so trying to push this thing out past 500, and we just got to win games. So another desperate team coming in. We knew they were going to give it everything. They're a great team. It's just this league is so tough right now. They find themselves a little lower on the ladder.
You guys have got yourselves on a roll. You're feeling good. What has it been that's got you guys into this position?
I think we're moving the ball better. We've solidified the fact that we can't do anything unless we play good defense. I know at times tonight it didn't look like we were playing good defense, but when we needed to, we got some stops. We got out and run, and guys made big plays, big shots.
Got the Breakers next. What do you expect from them?
It's the same across the board, right? Everyone's fighting for their life. They had such a great start to the year. They've had some injuries, and they've dropped a couple in tough fashion. But we respect them. We respect everything they've been through over the last couple years and how they've responded this year. So another tough fight.
You and your team were fantastic. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Chris Goulding there with Erin Phillips. He set the tone. He had 13 points in the opening quarter, including the first 10 of the game for Melbourne, and just continued to get better from there.
We came in with that mentality. We refuse to lose. We're coming in here all business to handle business. And that's exactly what he did. 11 of 18 from the field. 5 of 10 from downtown. 28 points. Fantastic shooting display he put on.
Just shy of his season high of 30, Chris Goulding, but he did it in style, and as we see the 3-pointers there, 5 of 10 tonight. So for Chris Goulding, that now makes 89 on the season at 40%.
Yeah, he's been incredible all season long, and you heard him there in the interview with Aaron saying they're sharing the ball a little more, and it's no surprise that he's finding the ball a little more, and Melbourne United winning games.
They did it in style. So Adelaide fans go home with a Hungry Jack's burger, but Dean Vickerman is smiling at the box score because his team has won 5 in a row, and they are charging toward the playoffs. Full time in Adelaide, it's 94-87 in favour of United. We'll be back to tell you more right after this. Thanks for staying with us here. Saturday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks at NBL, and Melbourne United, after being challenged, have found a way home here to win by 7 points. 87-94 was the equation. 5-game winning streak for them now, and they continue their good form against Adelaide. So they've won 11 of their last 14 games. There are the numbers, and the 16 of 36 from deep was impressive.
Yeah, it was. Look, it doesn't matter how they go about it. They've just got to continue to win games. And as I said, that Bullets win wasn't completely impressive, but it was still a win nonetheless. So it shows character to get those wins over desperate teams, which Brisbane wanted to show. And now Adelaide, as Chris Golding mentioned, are a desperate team. And they got that job done. Now they look forward to New Zealand. I think they just need to win one of the last two. I'm sure they'd like to win both to have a crack at going into the playing tournament, and then anything can happen.
Melbourne won 3 of the 4 quarters. They won the last quarter thanks largely to Ray John Tucker, because he came up with 12 of their 24 in the final term. They beat Adelaide 24-23 to extend their 6-point margin to 7 in the final. And Tucker, another good line from him, 25 points, including 4 of 9 from deep, and he had 10 boards as well, Corey.
I mean, for me, in the second half of this year, he would be my MVP of the season for the second half of NBL23. He's been that sensational. And when he's hitting that 3, he's pretty much unguardable, because his ability to get to the rack, we know he can do that. We know how explosive he is. We know he can get to the rack and finish with great body control. But for him to be hitting those 3s, it's a whole nother ball game.
So a great night for Melbourne, but it has been soured to a certain degree, because if you've joined us late, Shea Ili, who's had concussion problems all season, well, he was concussed again in the 3rd quarter with a collision here with Antonius Cleveland, and it didn't look good, Pete Hall.
No, it didn't, and he tried to play through, but I think right there he knew that, look, that very well may be his season done. With everything we've been through, which you really hope not. It's heartbreaking if it is, but the most important thing is that young man's health.
Exactly right. So how does it affect the ladder? Well, Adelaide now, you would wonder about their capacity to make the top 6. United take the Phoenix position in the 6 at the moment. Phoenix get to play Perth tomorrow, so that's 4th against 8th with a chance to get back in and push Melbourne back out. So it's changing every game here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Trust you've enjoyed it tonight. We saw Brisbane beat Illawarra by 17, and now Melbourne winning in Adelaide by 7. On behalf of Pete Hawley, Corey Williams, Aaron Phillips at courtside, and our entire hardworking crew behind the scenes, I'm John Casey. Stay with us. 18 games and counting left in the Hungry Jacks NBL regular season.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack.